when we talk about decentering men, are we also including centering women in that conversation or what? Because it is so popular to say, let's decenter men these days. But if you look at the reasons why women are saying this, it is mostly related to women's experiences in their romantic relationships with men. And if that is the main reason or the only reason, then you and I need to have a little chat.
I think we need to come to a proper conclusion of what decentering men means, because there's a lot of women that claim to have decentered men, but their Instagram stories are filled with quotes about how they will not tolerate certain treatments, how a man needs to act, and what they expect from a man. I've come to the conclusion that decentering men is not an actual thing, because the only time you ever hear it being spoken is when women are held accountable for the way that they think and the way that they behave in relationships. It's always used as a defense mechanism when conversations about accountability are brought to the table. Valentine's Day is around the corner and nobody's trying to decenter men, because now you can actually benefit something. The only time women are ever interested in decentering men is when the conversation doesn't benefit them anymore. But when they're about to gain something from men, the decenterization of men goes out the window. Now it's Valentine's Day, everybody wants to show off, everyone wants a man, quotes are flying on Instagram stories. If we're going to decenter men, let's do it across the board. Let's not pick and choose when it suits us. Otherwise, the decentering men term is completely useless.
With everything that happens and whatever that you do, please try and decenter men. Do not make living, being in a relationship, being married, whatever, with a man, your whole personality, your whole identity. Have a life outside of the relationship. So have a life. Because one thing about men, he'll still continue to go to Zai with his buddies. He'll still continue to go to soccer after work. Why are you not out there having brunch with the girls? Why are your nails not done? Do not forget about yourself now that you're in a relationship. Sometimes you are loved so right and you get too comfortable to a point where you forget about yourself. Decenter men. Decenter men. At your earliest, at your slightest inconvenience.
So some women live their lives and build their lives around the possibility of them getting married. Oh no, I don't want to buy a house now because one day I'll have a husband and we'll buy the house together. Or no, I don't want to drive a certain car because then it might chase away husband. Men don't like women that have a better cars than them. Or no, I don't want to have businesses and have more money. But all I'm saying is you cannot limit your dreams and your potential as a person because you're holding on to the possibility or the wish of you getting married. It is not worth it. Or no, I don't want to get my own apartment because it's one thing if you're comfortable at home and you want to be at home, but it's a whole different ball game if you are staying at home and not acquiring your independence because you're like, no, it's because I want to get married. I don't think there's a guy who does that, guys. I don't think there's a guy who's not going to do certain things because one day will shada. If it happens, it happens, good. But you cannot limit yourself based on into that might not even happen to you.
The way I need my girlies to decenter men, I need you to decenter men and start behaving like a man. Because, baby, a gent is not going to date a hand that has 2 kids. You, or women rather, we tend to say, no, but I mean, he has this, that, and the other one. And those are things that I like, so I'm going to date. You date men that don't meet your standards, that don't meet the standard of a gent that you want, because you have centered your life around men. And take the bare minimum, bend over backwards for a gent. When a nigga is not gonna do that for shits. Like, say, I'm gonna date a han like this. This is the standard of what I want. He's sticking with that. And I have because you have this, that, and the other one. Or shame, uyazama. You're putting in the Men don't get, like, that's one thing I respect so much about James. James come first no matter what. Ukaba mama go ngwana gage, he will never bend over backward for you, babes. He will never. And I respect James for that so much.
I'm a man and I completely endorse women decentering men from their lives. As a man, I've seen that women would have a higher quality of life if they did not outsource their happiness, their well-being, their worth to men. A lot of women have seen it. As a man who has aunts, sisters, a mother, and nieces, I can tell you this now. If women would focus on themselves more and decenter men from their lives, it will be better. And I'm not saying they must not talk to men or entertain men and be relationships with men. I'm saying they must not make men the center of everything. They must work for themselves. They must provide for themselves. They must go out and find worth that is outside relationships and outside the achievement of marriages. This whole thing of centering the other gender only works for men. I have achieved a lot in my life as soon as I decided that I like women and I want to impress them. I went to the gym, I made more money, I got more focus, because what impresses women is like self-improvement for a man. What impresses men, on the other hand, is more like self-suppression for women. So I, for one, see that women would be better off if they would focus on themselves and let men be an addition in their lives. I know you want to have kids, I know you want romance and all of that thing, but your quality of life significantly drops when you center men in your life. Some women even don't choose the careers they want, they don't choose the jobs they want. Some have to stay at home because their man is insecure about their workplace because they have centered men in their lives. You have made so many bad decisions in your life as a woman because you value your life through the lens of a man than your life through your own lens. Decentering men really helps a lot of women in South Africa and the world probably.
I think where the decentering men conversation falls flat is that I think we expect women to decenter men without providing the necessary support systems so that they could be able to do that safely. Why is safety an important thing? Safety is an important thing because most men don't deal very well with being decentered, especially if they were once centered. A lot of them, they don't deal, nicely or leniently. They will not deal with you leniently for decentering them. Right? Because decentering them is also an experience for them as it is for you. Right? When you are decentering them, they know, they can feel it. And unfortunately, because we already know the fact that we live in a country where men aren't really encouraged to have any form of emotional intelligence. A lot of them don't know. They don't know how to deal with that. They don't know how to express that disappointment except through aggression and violence.